So you're the host.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Being as like all David has been bringing people in and then basically stealing them to host our show.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of that's the format.
Okay, so here we're going to reveal everything about this game.
Yeah. So we brought Maja along to sculpt some characters. So we have like a character modeling tool, and we thought it'd be cool to try and make some characters from the Tomorrow Children.
Okay. All right.
As a thing. So
yeah. Let's get it going.
So basically, while you make stuff, it's hard to talk. So I'll kind of do the talking for Maja.
Yeah.
She can chime in when.
So do you have anything to go on then? Like.
Well, so what we do is you start with like a blank character. So you know, we have this. I guess we start with some ground, so that the character has something to stand on. This is our sculpting tool. We use like a similar voxel tech to you guys.
Yeah. It's nice.
I know, like Jamin and Alex.
Yeah, we've got into this in great detail in our internal, with our internal tech team.
Yeah. What all the different bits?
Well, comparing it.
Yeah. So here's a standard kind of mannequin-like character.
Oh, okay, nice.
So once you start with that, you can kind of go from there to you can pose it, and then you can sculpt on the various different bits.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So let me get you a reference.
Yeah, where's the we got a reference picture.
Yeah, I've pulled some off. What's your? Should we just go for the main character then?
Yeah. With have you got a picture with her with that one piece? Yeah. Like
that one?
Yeah. That's good.
The other one had a more zoomed in look.
She's kind of.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
I'll
go.
just hold that.
Yeah.
The human.
I am the holding machine.
The holding machine.
Yeah, so
I suppose you get the proportions first.
Yeah.
So I think what we found was that it's actually quite easy to make a character without any sculpting just by playing with proportions.
Yes, yeah.
So at the start, we made this, tool to very quickly and easily just stretch and pull.
Yeah.
We try to avoid.
And then anybody can play with it. Then.
Yeah, that's kind of like I call it Stretch Armstrong. in the code, there's like code that says if Stretch Armstrong, then do.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So the sculpt.
There's the head shape.
Yeah,
it's coming in.
So we've got adding
so you kind of squeeze. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
and we can have soft add and soft cut.
Nice.
So it's actually one of the techniques that people realized early on is that it's actually easier to start with more clay and then chip it away.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
like real sculpting.
Real sculpting. And you get the chiseled look that you guys have in your game, I think, with that kind of the bits.
Yeah.
So you have the softness in some places, but then you also have the really sharp cuts.
Yeah, exactly. You really need that. You need the beveling and.
So who did I'm just curious, like the art direction. How did that come about?
I was just trying to kind of recreate like a sort of Cold War look somehow.
Yeah.
And it was just iteration. We just went through and we sent the artists out to the Czech Republic. We got them to learn how to make puppets, like the wooden puppets from the Czech Republic, and then they came back and used the same techniques in the modeling tools. So like using like ZBrush and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Cool.
So that's like very similar.
It's very similar, yeah. So it's a sculpted look.
It's a sculpted look.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go. So it's it's kind of interesting that both. Are we the only two games using voxels on PS4 right now?
I think so.
So both of them went for a sculpted look.
Basically, yeah. I think it's a good way to cover some of the problems with voxels. So.
Right.
But it's good fun. It gives it a really nice artistic look, so it's cool.
Yeah, so it's we actually stumbled upon a similar look just because of the tools. I think because of the.
That's one of the ways, isn't it? As well, you look at the technology you have, or that you're developing, and then you kind of match. You find a style that matches that technology. So one of the reasons why in our game we have a lot of beveling in our game is because we noticed that the highlights came out really nicely.
Ah, interesting.
With all the lighting, and because our lighting has the 3 bounces of light.
Yeah.
If you have 3 bounces of light, you really want some nice little bevels here and there to pick up those little extra colours from around you.
All the engineer work needs to be shown.
And it's shown.
Right?
Yeah, it has to be shown. If you just had a flat surface, it doesn't show up. You know, so you bring in the little bevels and little ridges and stuff.
To give it.
And it really works well.
You want to? Huh?
Her legs?
Oh yeah. Let me back up.
Sorry.
Is there a shot with the legs?
Okay, maybe there are.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, they're kind of.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I'll give you that one.
I think that's one. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting way. I think it's definitely tech people definitely work in that way. I think, you know, so and if you have a good artist team as well, like with the tech, and they just start playing with it, you can just come up with all kinds of crazy stuff, much like your stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's basically a lot of Kareem saying, "Alex, I want this," and Alex just going, "God, no," like the sort of
putting the eyeballs in.
Yeah. So you can actually. Well, it's a little large.
Yeah.
She does have kind of large eyes.
It's okay. That'll do.
Yeah, so we can, in addition to the sculpting, we can also just bring in other people's objects.
Do you have a name for the little characters?
Which the
little cursors.
Yeah, the imps.
Oh, they're imps. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they sort of represent.
Well, that's scary.
You and the. I think it's the lack of cheeks. I think you just gotta have the cheeks.
Yeah.
But that's like a post soft blend thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So
have you done much sculpting then in your own engine?
Yeah. Actually, I do. I
want to see some programmer art.
I mostly do the assembly bits of it.
Oh, okay.
So like, it's a lot easier to sort of get other people's stuff and just collage it together.
Yeah.
I make birds with arms mostly.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the concept, but I take people's birds that they've made and I take the arms that people have made.
Right.
It's a fairly well-defined niche.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I sculpt like heads and faces here and there just to like.
Oh, nice.
I guess like I imitate the artists to the point where I go through the same motions. My work is just a lot worse.
Yeah.
But I need to do that to make the UI good. Because like if I'm
exactly.
Yeah, if I'm making it, the way I do things is very different than the way they do things. Then the UI is never going to be good. So when I make the UI, I'm kind of like, okay, I'll at least pretend like I'm Kareem.
Exactly.
I'll move my hand.
Do a bit of play acting.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of the. That's what we.
Well, there's a lot of fun with the two moves.
Yeah. Yeah, so we support like move controllers. We support the DS4 controller with and without the camera. So it's like for sculpting, the moves really help because it's kind of really 3D input. But for play, the DS4 is obviously really nice because it has analog sticks and all that. So we're sort of taking like almost like a tool agnostic approach, which is a nightmare for UI.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's hard enough to make UI for like one controller.
Yes. Yeah.
I think once you take the plunge, it sort of becomes a bit less painful. You've just decided that's what you're doing, and that's how it goes.
Exactly, that's what you have to do. It reminds me of, at the moment, those little aliens in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
The ones at the bar. In the cantina in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think they were playing like the instruments.
Yeah, so we've got
try to get the stroke right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
it's tough to replicate something that must have taken like months of iteration.
Exactly. That's where the fun is.
Oh no,
I think seeing the transition between the two, it's really cool. Like it's getting there. Like you can see it. You said you're getting closer.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I think you have to hit on the understanding what the artist internally is seeing.
Yeah,
it's almost like when you start drawing, you draw the circles.
Well, you're right. No. So the artist who designed this character is based basically on herself.
Oh really?
Yeah. So she we went through a lot of iterations, but it ended up somehow looking like her.
We've been seeing that.
Like, yeah, it happens a lot.
It's strange. You don't tend to make characters that look too much like. Well, actually, yeah, you do.
That look too much like what?
Yeah, like you. Like you basically.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They don't say.
They don't
admit it.
No.
Denial.
But like Emily,
our artist, the character artist for us as well, was just like, yeah, we'll say that, and she goes, no, it doesn't. It doesn't look like me.
And it's just like,
yes.
Yeah, we've had a similar incident where Emily made a character that looks exactly like Emily.
It's funny.
Huh?
It's funny though.
Yeah, it's like, why do you...
Yeah,
Korean made a character that looks just like Korean. And he's like, no, I didn't.
What?
Yeah, so it's...
It'd be fun seeing how you do the skirt.
Oh, yeah. So we have this kind of... because it's voxels, right? As you well know, it's like really hard to animate voxels.
Yeah.
Do you guys also have the multi-piece?
We don't do that, no. So
you skin it.
Well, we don't use voxels for the actual character.
Oh, okay. So
okay. So we use use voxels for the lighting, and we use something else for the actual polygon, the polygonization. You know, which is called LDC, layered depth cube.
What?
Layered depth cubes. So that's our technology for that for our stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So since we go with this full voxel.
Your full voxel.
Full
voxel.
Yeah. It's very hard to do skinning in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
So the bipeds are made out of like multiple pieces, and at first it's like very restrictive because all the artists come in and they're like, how do we skin this thing?
Yes. Yeah. It can be very tricky.
You slowly get used to working the joinery.
Yeah.
And you get that puppet look.
Yeah.
But basically to an extreme. It's like you use the same techniques that puppet makers do to make the joinery not look, like G.I. Joe style.
Yeah.
And that's all about...
What are those white bits? The white... Is that like a selection?
Oh.
This white kind of...
Oh, that's just the axis, I think.
Oh, so it shows the axis.
I think it's just showing the axis,
okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is debug. Although we just realized that it kind of looks like Da Vinci when she's in a circle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it sort of worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the debug. Shows you the origin.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah. It just kind of looked cool, so it's like...
Yeah, this is the first one we've made, because for a long time it was like RGB, and everyone hated it.
Yeah.
Liam and I did this one, and actually everyone's quite okay with it.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah. One of the things
I can't wait to have a play on it.
Huh?
I can't wait to have a play.
Yeah.
Like myself,
actually
see what I can make.
Yeah, what we found is because you can basically... We make it very free, and you can move around and do stuff. People would make stuff that's just like off into space or just scaled in a really crazy way. So we started just forcing them to have an axis so they just know that, you're making a 5-kilometer apple right now. But they still don't care.
Still don't care.
The artist's it's an apple.
Live with it.
Yeah, just deal with it.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny.
It's definitely got the puppet look.
Yeah, it's difficult to get
the cheeks. More cheek. Yeah. Dylan, what do you think? What's
maybe more cheek. Maybe more cheek. She's got quite strong cheekbones.
Like maybe cubes, soft cubes.
Not
too much cheek. I think cube cheeks could go well. Because if you do soft cubes, see what it looks like, because they'll give you that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like if you take.
I think it's funnier like this.
How?
I was thinking take the cube shape.
Yeah.
And use it in a soft way, like the soft. Yeah.
Ah, this one.
Because that might give
you get that sort of ridge.
Because she's got like almost boxes, isn't she?
Yeah. Because she is carved. So.
Or maybe like start with the smooth, and then cut into it.
Yeah.
Right now, my internally is thinking, Anton, why didn't you wire up pick from the scene? Because I really want that color.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's
really nice softening, isn't it? The tool.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get things looking exactly like you want them.
Yeah. So just go for the impression.
Yeah.
So you guys must have done all custom tools, right?
Yeah. I mean conversion tools and stuff like that. Yeah, but our stuff's still modelled in regular ZBrush and stuff like that. And we just convert down. But all our stages, all our level data is all custom tools.
Okay.
Because that's all done within the engine, and with the layered depth cube stuff.
Yeah, we found it really difficult to work on the tools and the game at the same time.
Yeah, it is tough, and you need your best programmers doing the tools.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's true. It's like
with some serious eyeballs.
feel like these eyes are better than the other ones. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Slightly kooky though. Slightly kooky.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah. I trust the art. Yeah, it's like you kind of have to, because the thing, our big pitch is everything in Dreams is 100% made in Dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's kind of like a eat your own dog food kind of mentality. And you basically have to.
I suppose it's the same on Little Big Planet as well, right?
Yeah, but Little Big Planet, Sackboy was made in Maya and animated in Maya.
Right. Okay.
But here all of our characters.
But the levels were all in. Yeah,
the old levels, the levels were all made. Yeah. But they were made out of assets that were, made in.
Yeah.
So it's more like collaging.
Yeah.
Which we have in this, obviously, but
you have to do everything in this.
Yeah. The things you're collaging here are things that were made. And just that one distinction is just like. That's the world of difference. And
also, I mean, just the way you can animate this afterwards is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, once we get this, actually, you can just grab it and puppeteer
it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So it's very much a puppet metaphor. Like we always try to find metaphors to explain to people. Oh, sorry, I'm being a bad holder. How do we explain to people like what's the mood that they should be in?
Yeah.
Because when you're sculpting, if you treat it like ZBrush, you're going to be in a world of hurt because it just doesn't have the precision or like the voxel resolution, all of that. So you kind of have to take advantage of what it's good at, which is the kind of more performance-based, like carving feeling.
Yeah.
And puppeting is the same way. Like if you're coming from an animation background, you're like, where's my curves? How am I gonna?
Yeah, exactly.
Time this exactly? You're like,
exactly. Yeah.
No, you can't think like that. You just have to think like a puppeteer.
Yeah.
So that's basically sculpting is like sculpting, animation is like puppeteering.
And it kind of almost has like a soft side to it, right? So like sculpting is more like like wood and stone and stuff like that. But this feels a little softer than that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're sculpting with cotton wool in a way in some.
Yeah.
Like when you some of the tools.
Some of the bits,
some of the bits.
And I think
it's kind of cool.
I think at this point it might have dropped res because of the time spent. After a long time, it like starts to de-res to go faster.
Oh, interesting.
So there's still some optimization we're doing there. But we actually have controls to kind of crank that up.
Oh, okay,
and that's how we do the foresty bits and like
right, all
of that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So is it a sharp split in your game between like the environment and all the other objects?
Yeah. So, but they're in. I mean, they're all within the same voxel lighting system.
That's what makes it sit really well.
Yeah, so everything
like,
sits together. Yeah, everything sits together. Yeah.
Yeah, because every time when you look at other games that use voxels and polys, there's always this uncomfortable.
Yeah, like sort of ours is has a very strong sense of coherence, I suppose, like a very
contact,
coherent, very
solidity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise for us on Dreams because we're always obviously pushing this idea of collaging and you make something and I bring it in and we remix it. Yeah. But actually, if you try to do that just like with Turbo Squid or something like, I mean, Turbo Squid's awesome, but like the models you put in are all different styles.
No, that's true.
They don't sit.
Yeah, and you need it all to sit together, don't you? Yeah.
And we kind of lucked out with the lighting being voxel-ish lighting.
Yeah.
It's like, we sort of get it all to sit together.
Yeah, and it just all.
We'll take it.
And it's nice and consistent,
Yeah, it's such a big deal because for a while the lighting was, just standard N.L kind of like placeholder lighting, and then when the lighting really clicked, everything just. Yeah. And that made people really work well together.
No, that's cool.
Makes you just never want to do a traditional game again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, same for us as well. It's like just do it our own way.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun that way.
Yeah. Here comes the patchwork.
Oh yeah, the pockets.
So you mentioned that you were inspired by the kind of communist era.
Yeah,
Cold War style.
Well, kind of the Cold War as I saw it from England, like in the.
Oh yeah.
As I grew up, so in the 70s-ish. So in the 70s there were a lot of programs that were based around the 60s, and so that's kind of the image I have of that sort of a little bit black and white, a little bit cold.
Oh, we've got a button.
That's cool.
Yeah, amazing.
So can you create like preset objects and then save them out and then bring them into.
Yeah, so any object that anyone's ever made, you just go through search,
pull
it
nice.
out, stamp it.
Just use it.
So, I mean, obviously sculpting is sort of the high end of making unique objects.
Yeah.
But you can actually get really far just by bringing objects in and collaging them together. So
I presume there'll be a massive community. Sort of an object you can just bring in from anybody and.
Yeah, which makes search a problem. So like.
We
all of a sudden are hitting like Google grade problems.
Yes, exactly. That's true.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone could make stuff? It's like, yes, but...
Because it got pretty difficult even on Little Big Planet, didn't it? When you were looking for a stage.
Yeah.
And even with it was a very cool tagging system, but even then, as more and more people just made more and more stuff, you could always find a stage, but you kept on looking, so to find the exact thing you were looking for.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do now is we want to be much more people-focused.
Yeah.
So instead of searching for stuff, we actually think about searching for people.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like the Google image versus Pinterest mentality.
Oh, okay.
So we want people to follow other people.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because first of all, like frankly, programmer speaking, there's a lot less algorithm work involved. Like you just make people be able to make selections and creations and stuff.
So you let them deal with it.
Yeah, we leverage the
that's probably the way to do it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And on the plus side, like you actually, I feel like you end up with more human collections and search results.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our bank. Like if that doesn't work, it's tricky because then we have to do
then
Google.
You have to do the Google.
But if that works out, and we kind of have some thinking that it will, because in Little Big Planet, like you said, people actually were moving towards that more. Like they would actually, we had the lbp.me stuff where everyone has their own homepage and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then people would share links to those, and they would just like post. So it sort of started. The community itself was pushing towards more like, hey, just let us, share who's got what, and make it a bit more organic rather than trying to own the whole problem yourself, so to speak. So I think for Dreams, the idea is that the people are at the forefront of the search results.
Yeah.
So it's very much about who it is that you're looking for.
That's cool.
And then it's more like you just have to know the people in the community that do the kind of thing. So I know that Maja does really cool characters. So if when I do characters, I'm like, oh, just check out what Maja's made.
Pull them in.
Put it in. Like, I don't actually want to search for character because what is that going to give me? Like, I don't know. And then I have to narrow it down. So that's kind of the...
Are you going to have some kind of earning system? Not real money, but like, like some way to if people are using a lot of the things that you've spent time making, you get like kudos back, like sort of like we did that for like Pixel Junk 4 AM, for example.
Yeah.
So you'd have people, you can like give kudos to the person doing the DJing, and it was just a point thing, but it's still
huge, right?
It's still very gratifying.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people to feel comfortable sharing their work.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they're like, oh, you're gonna copy my stuff, say it's no, screw you, man.
Exactly.
Like, that's not. So we have basically have like a lineage system. So every time you bring in an asset, we remember the ID of that asset. And we there's like an actual automatic credits list, like forced upon every dream. Like these are the objects used in it.
Yeah. These are all the people involved. Yeah.
And that brings in some interesting questions about like how, like, where is the how do you measure contribution?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because
it's quite visual, isn't it? So I mean, they could have completely changed it.
Yeah.
Right. So
you could have completely changed it. And at what point is it still? It's like inspired by.
Yeah. And then you need. And it might not even be inspired. It might be just that you started with it and then you actually threw it all away.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult.
So how do you judge that?
So you need a kind of human judging system.
Yeah, we're still pondering how exactly that's sort of going to go down because. It's an open question. One interesting reference point that Alex brought up is like, YouTube. I can put up a video of the Beatles performing.
Yeah.
But nobody's confused that it was me that performed it.
Yeah, that's true.
The Beatles, so it doesn't matter who put it up.
Yeah.
So maybe there's going to be a bit of that. It's like you'll know this is Maja's character.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that I just stole it and put it in. It's like, well, no, it says it's hers, and
you begin to recognize
so maybe that's the way out. So like you said, a bit human-er.
some sort of It's very dark brown.
Oh no, it's just because it's showing you what's not in focus right now.
Oh,
like
I see. I see.
Showing
So
you
it darkens.
it darkens. It's a ugly
so
hack,
when you
and the artists hate me for it.
Yeah. It's a typical one. It's a typical programmer hack.
Yeah. So now you can puppeteer her.
Oh, nice. This is getting pretty close.
Yeah, the shirt's gonna be tricky.
Yeah. Hey, we get that problem anyway in our games sometimes.
Oh, do you? Okay.
When we do some extreme animations, where she doesn't have quite enough bones to cope.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Have you ever seen that 5-bone starfish rig?
No.
Check that out.
5 bones.
5-bone starfish rig.
Yeah. Oh.
And Anton Kirchner on our team just sent it out. It's like it's surprisingly good. It's like crazy compression.
Oh.
Calves.
Yeah.
Professional.
What? Something that looks like it. Fuck me.
Oh, you can pose it too, so you can pose whatever way you want it.
So do a salute. Could you do a
salute?
The
or
salute.
that, yeah.
Or the.
What's
salute. The correct? Yeah. The
what is she holding? Is she holding something? This one.
All Russians.
Yeah.
Primary school as part of our training.
And then all you need to do is repeat her about 100 times. No.
You know we can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, so we
Huh?
Because she's a clone.
Clone tool work.
Yeah,
we have a thing called clone tool.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Because she is a clone.
She is a clone.
Yeah.
We can make a whole army of her.
So I found this hack. I'll show you. Maybe I should do it just because. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh.
See, the problem is the head doesn't know about the pose. So when she's just gonna poke herself in the eyes. But we'll see.
Maybe just do that one then. The fist.
Oh yeah.
It's like what?
So can you so yes, it's a sheep tool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna tweak her up to make fancy dancing.
Tweak her up?
What are you gonna do?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I was gonna say. So Dylan was saying, can we clone her a bunch of times? Does that work, or is it gonna?
Yeah, it works.
There you go.
So we have a clone tool, but
cool.
Actually, let you press any number of button presses, and it repeats the transform between the first and the clone. And
okay.
So you can
my god, that's scary. That's cool.
They're all looking at each other like,
what?
What?
It's like leaning in for a kiss.
So I think there was a hack for a while. I don't know if it still works.
That's kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of an accordion.
Yeah.
The way it kind of stretches out.
What?
Dancing.
Can you select them all now? Is that possible? But not the ground. And then press triangle on one of them. Yeah. So now use the move tool. So I put in this thing that just fell out. Let's see if it works. Yes. So when you group them, you move them as one, but their legs are like, okay, so you can actually move the whole.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It's just like puppets, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting way of making a puppet that's like composite.
And it's like she's a slightly drunk version.
Sorry.
No, that's not your fault. That's the animation code. But yeah, no, it's a.
She's been on the vodka too much.
She has a backpack on.
Oh yeah, she's got a backpack.
Ding.
So one of the other cool things is it's all kind of instanced. So when you add a backpack, it like just
it actually
clones
goes
on all of them.
Oh, it's instanced. That's cool. That's cool.
One of the hardest things to convey is actually that instancing.
Yeah.
Because people just aren't really used to thinking
that it'll duplicate.
Yeah. So we actually have. Yeah, we need to think a lot about how do we.
That's pretty cool, though. So you could create symmetric kind of creations, couldn't you? Mm-hmm. So if you clone and flip.
Yeah, exactly.
And then start drawing, you can do some pretty interesting stuff, or clone and rotate a bit. You know?
Yeah. That's
pretty a lot of fun, actually.
So we have like a default mirror mode, which is just
one
flip.
I think I've seen that.
But yeah, if you said if you sort of leverage the instancing,
you can do some really fun stuff with it, can you?
Yeah, so I think that's nobody has yet fully tapped that.
Yeah,
so
I think
that's a very programmery kind of way of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think you'll see some pretty crazy stuff being created. So you're using symmetry there in some way, are you, to do that?
So we have just at any point you can turn on basic just
that's cool.
bilateral symmetry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a rotational symmetry.
It helps a lot when you're drawing, doesn't it? Yeah, rotational symmetry.
Rotational symmetry helps for like tables and whatever.
It's like going back to the days of deluxe paint on the Amiga.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter was just asking, like, they wanted the Hue Rotate from the old Amiga palettes.
Yeah.
Rotate?
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, those are great.
So
I used to spend hours playing with that in deluxe paint.
Yeah.
And you just set the color palette rotating as well.
Yeah.
And you create lots of animations and crazy looking stuff.
Yeah, so the first idea, like when I first joined Media Molecule, I told Alex, I'm like, can we have palette color?
Yeah,
and he was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we didn't end up doing it, but we ended up doing transformation matrices on the color, so each object has a unique transform.
Nice,
so you could do a Hue Rotate.
Actually, we do, in the Tomorrow Children as well, we use a 3D color cube, and we map all the colors.
Oh, yeah.
Completely, and also taking the Z as well, so it's almost like a 4D color cube.
So you mean like you basically have like a LUT for the front and the
back, and we interpolate between the two. Yeah. So yes, we have two cubes, basically two color cubes.
Two palette cubes.
Yeah, two palette cubes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works really well because it lets us like completely control the look of the whole color of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
And how do you author the cubes? Just out of curiosity, that's one of the things I'm working on. Is actually
really?
that similar?
Sorry.
How do you author the cubes? Is it like via?
We have a tool. Packages? We use. We basically copied all the controls in Lightroom.
Yep.
And then we generate the cubes on the fly from those controls.
Yep.
So we have all like shadow control and
shadow, mid, low, high,
all kinds of just.
Yeah. So we have a grade tool. It's not available here because it's all in debug UI, but I've tried a few things. I've done the copy low. Curves and whatever. We actually didn't do it with cubes. We just did it on the fly in the shader, just as a prototype. But the cubes is like a much more efficient thing.
So much, because I mean, you don't even need that big a cube. Like,
it's not that. If it's not a secret, what do you guys use?
I think it's just a 32 by 32 by 32.
Yeah, that seems to be.
And it works fine. It works fine. Yeah.
But I did try a weird prototype that I'd be curious to kind of share with people.
Yeah.
But it's you paint the LUT directly with a paintbrush.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And it was
or
mental.
Distort it, like lattice distort it maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
And that's a cold.
Just people don't know what we're talking about now. Like,
no, we're like completely
color cubes.
Yeah,
what is that? But it's a lot of fun. Like color manipulation is actually a lot of fun.
And it changes the look of the scene completely.
Completely. So if you look at most screenshots of the Tomorrow Children, you'll see how each one has been like designed to be this look.
Yeah.
So it's like either it's warm and lush, or it's cold and bright, or and it all comes from this kind of. The color cube, it comes from the post-processing.
Yeah, that's what we found, and like, Alex and I are very passionate about exposing that to people.
Yeah, definitely.
But even the majority of our art team, when they see those knobs and stuff, they get quite weary, and they're like, low, mid, high is pretty understandable.
Yeah.
But at one point, we had like log, gamma gain, and
right. Yeah.
The films industry ones.
Yeah, in fact, it's with us as well. It's like it's just me that fiddles with those values. And I set them all because I think it's because I got into photography a few years ago, and I just wanted to bring that sense of photography into the game. And so I just forced them to make the system.
Yeah, so I think that they I'll give you a close up since I know you're working on the face, but one of the motivations to do this more kind of performance or like fun way of doing grading was because like it's such a huge deal, and very few people on the team were using it. But the people that were getting these amazing screenshots.
Exactly. Once you do the color, I mean, I've seen some of the screenshots you were putting out on, and you can tell they've been really nicely color graded.
Yeah, that's all John. I don't know if he's around, but John.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference. And it needs a certain eye as well for like shadows and colors and saturation and a certain.
It's very easy to make
skill.
Something really garish.
Exactly. Yeah, you can quickly go garish.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the thing that always. The thing that bugged me about those tools is very hard to do Polaroids, and I always just want to do Polaroids.
Yeah.
That's a very specific, non-linear garbage thing. So
you can, using professional sort of photograph editing, you can actually, it has all the curves and everything, so you can really emulate those old films, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and part of the things is, we do want to make movies in Dreams.
Yeah.
So it's natural to.
I think for like the sort of someone who doesn't want to fiddle too much, you could just create filter packs. Just like the way Instagram does it, but on a much better level, because you've got more color detail you can actually fiddle with.
Yeah.
So Instagram, has to do it on with a low quality sensor, but you've got a full color range.
And I've heard Instagram's not even LUTs. I was like,
no, it's not. I don't think
it's
just simple filters.
But it's not. And I was like, oh well, that's.
Yeah, I think they're all just very simple, just simple color filters and stuff.
But yeah, I'll send you some images of the weird LUT painter thing, cause
yeah, that sounds great.
It was I never actually put it in because actually storage. It was very hard to.
Right. Yeah.
But
Plus you have to do it with quite a high res if you're going to paint it.
Yeah, Alex was yelling at me basically. I was doing it on CPU at one point too.
Right.
No.
Yeah. You can do some fun things like inverse images very quickly as well. Stuff that, like really weird psychedelic kind of looks as well.
Do you know what was really good about it, though, that we still haven't gotten back, is so I had a Desaturate tool. So you see the cube in an unwrapped way. But you can just say, oh, you know what, there's too much green. So you just hover over the green and you just desaturate the greens.
Yeah.
It's really intuitive rather than finding the curve for green
and then trying to fill in with exactly.
It's like, oh, I had a desaturator and I go squirt green, and you can do very easily those like selective color looks. Just by desaturating everything but the red or the yellow or and it worked on like lows, and so you could desaturate the lows.
Okay. Like, there's another photographer tool called Capture One. That gives you a similar thing where you pick the color and then it gives you a pie chart, and it shows you like within a sort of RGB sort of pie chart. It's actually RGB, but like a color pie chart. And then it shows you the segment of the color that you've chosen, and then you can widen it and squeeze it and rotate it to a completely different hue, and you can see it like graphically.
And it's pinching.
And it's not just like a little curve. It's you can actually play with it there.
I think
we're just getting into the technical stuff.
So should we do like a puppet show for?
Yeah. Go on then.
Can also make her walk.
They're winding us up. I'm sure our viewers are very interested.
Oh yeah.
In what we were talking about.
There's like 3 people on Twitter that are like, please keep talking, Dylan.
yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, this is really interesting.
It needs more stompiness. There you go. Stompy. So this is our character.
Nice. So you can set the personality of the.
Yeah, like how much sass do you think she has?
No.
Not that much.
She has like zero sass. Yeah.
She's a clone and everything.
Back stiffness. She probably has a bit of back stiffness.
Yeah.
Because she is made of wood.
Actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Her legs are a bit wide apart, aren't they?
Wobbliness. That might be stride length. Maybe brings the legs.
Yeah, party.
That's what's got a rock and dance.
Yeah, we've almost
like a you get the legs going like that.
She don't care.
Cool. Well, that's
No, that's cool.
Yeah, I think the hair shape.
What's the background? What are they doing in the background?
They're just the support.
Okay.
They're friends. Friends.
Here they come.
A whole dancing line.
It is.
They're looking cool. Yeah.
That's really cool. It's pretty close.
Not bad.
In a dreamlike way.
In a dreamlike way.
Like a slightly bad dream. Well, I'm sure a lot of people will be making bad dreams as well in Dream.
Oh yeah, like nightmares.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. Well, cool, man. Thanks
the sequel.
So
you can call the sequel Nightmares.
Yeah, basically.
Here we go.
No.
Oh, yeah, there's the instancing. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, well,
all right,
thank you so much,
and
man. It's good
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I want to have a play.
Yeah, definitely.